वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल HSE क्रू। इस वीडियो में हम शटडाउन से रेलिवेंट एक मॉक इंटरव्यू कंडक्ट करेंगे और इसमें आइडिया डिलीवर करने की ट्राई करेंगे कि बेसिकली शटडाउन से रेलिवेंट कौन कौन से क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं और आपने उनको किस तरह से रिस्पॉन्ड करना है। बेसिकली जो इंटरव्यूअर होता है वो आपसे 100% रटा रटाया आंसर या फिर एक जिसे कहते हैं कि बिल्कुल एक्यूरेट आंसर एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा होता। जस्ट आपने उसको अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग जो है वो डिस्क्राइब करनी होती है। एटलीस्ट उसको ये चाहिए होता है कि आपसे जो क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है उसका कॉन्सेप्ट आपको आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा। और अगर आपको कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आता तो उसको तरीके के साथ आपने नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की तरफ लेकर जाना है। तो ये बेसिक आइडिया रहेगा थ्रू आउट दिस इंटरव्यू। तो इस इंटरव्यू में हमारे पास मिस्टर मोहम्मद अदनान अंसारी हैं जो कि एज अ इंटरव्यूअर एक्ट करेंगे और मैं इसमें एज अ इंटरव्यूई एक्ट करूंगा। सो हम स्टार्ट करते हैं। मिस्टर मोहम्मद अदनान।
Hello, Mr. Zain. How are you?
आई एम फाइन।
Yeah, first of all, I received your CV for the shutdown interview. So, first of all, introduce yourself.
Well, as it's on my CV, my name is Zain. I have done BSc Chemistry from Punjab University in 2021. And after that, I have done OSHA and IOSH and started as a health and safety officer in a construction company here in Lahore. After 6 months, I'm promoted as health and safety supervisor. And till date, I'm working with that company as a health and safety supervisor. I'm managing all the things on the site, specifically risk assessments, specifically handling the workforce on the site, conducting trainings, conducting toolbox talks usually. And also in case of high risk activities, am staying on the site in order to inspect the sites in order to guide the worker throughout this high risk activity. So the main function is on site is carry out routine activities relevant to the construction safely without any incident and accident. And after that, recently I have done NIBOSH IGC as I got some information that it is the mandatory qualification for Gulf country jobs. So in previous 6 months, I have done this NIBOSH IGC qualification by my own. By studying all the concepts, by conducting, by attempting the exam, and also writing IG2 risk assessment. So that's all from my side.
Okay. So, as you see the advertisement, Gulf experience is mandatory for that post. So, you don't have any Gulf experience till now. So, why we hire you?
Exactly, sir. I don't have any Gulf experience right now. But sir, I have very good qualification along with health and safety certifications like OSHA, IOSH, and NIBOSH IGC. That are the basic requirements for the Gulf country jobs for the health and safety officer. And sir, I have a very good knowledge relevant to health and safety, and I'm single-handedly managing one construction site in my existing job. As I already told you in my introduction, that I'm conducting risk assessments, I'm conducting trainings, even I'm managing all health and safety relevant documentations like daily reports, weekly reports, monthly reports, and also I'm conducting incident accident investigations. Each and everything I'm maintaining single-handedly on my side. So, sir, as per my thinking, I'm very much eligible for this job. Remaining, it's up to you.
Yeah, it's agree and very good. So I'll continue your interview. So it's totally based on your further interview. Your selection will be based on totally on your that interview.
Right.
Okay. So first of all, what is the basically what is the purpose of shutdown? What are the different phases of shutdown? And what are the main challenging included in the shutdown activities?
Sir, as per the shutdown concern, it's an annual maintenance, or we can say that it's a routine maintenance activity in which daily routine activities of the plant are shut down, and after that, cleaning, inspection, and maintenance activities are carried out on different equipments. Basically, it's same like we are checking all the things in the plant after an interval, usually 3 years or 5 years, and after that, maintenance is carried out on different equipments. So basically, sir, there are three stages of the shutdown. First one is pre-shutdown, and after that, during shutdown, and the third stage is post-shutdown or startup phase. So different activities are carried out in pre-shutdown, during shutdown, and after shutdown, and most of the activities are carried out in during shutdown, in which most high-risk activities are carried out. Regarding the challenges in shutdown, basically, sir, it's a high-risk activities. Most of the equipments are open. workers are exposed to chemical and high toxic gas environments, each and everything. Sometimes there is low oxygen concentrations in confined space, and work at height activities are involved. All these are high risk activities, and the major problem is we have to complete the shutdown in short time period. That is the major risk in the shutdown activities, and most of the time construction workers, mechanical workers are taking shortcuts. So this is a major channel that we have to complete the shutdown safely, by guiding the workers, by training, educating the workers, and by staying on the site, conducting inspections, audits, each and everything.
Okay, very good, Mr. Zain. So, you know about the permit to work system and what is the importance in, especially in the shutdown activities. What is the importance of permit to
Yeah,
work
sir.
system?
Permit basically, permit is a documented procedure. It's a part of safe system of work. It's a written authorization for a group or a person to carry out inspection, construction, or maintenance activities on the plant side. So in shutdowns, it's very important document, as most of the activities are carried out simultaneously at a time. So permit is being issued by the most senior persons on the site, like area supervisors, area engineers, who are also permit issuer for the site. They know very well what are the required precautions that must be taken for an activity to be carried out in the shutdown. And without permit, it means that hazards are not identified, it means that proper control measures are not suggested, and it means that it will lead to serious incidents or accidents. And in case of shutdown, when a lot of manpower is on the site, it is really critical document that must be taken for any activity and must be fulfilled as per the issuer's requirements.
Very good. What are the compulsory documents which are must attach, which we are must attached with the permit to work system during any
Right.
shutdown activity?
Sir, there are a lot of documents that are required during the shutdown activities, and it also depends upon what activity is being carried out. So that kind of permits, that kind of documents must be attached with the permits. Usually risk assessments are attached, usually TBT, toolbox talk meeting, signature attendance sheet is attached, emergency evacuation plans are attached, same method statements are attached. If there is any modification, then drawings and P and ID drawings are attached with the permit. So it entirely depend on the activity. According to the activity, permit requirements, permit document requirements are changing.
Okay, very good. You talk about the TBT. What is TBT and what is the benefits of TBT, and why we conduct the TBT at site?
Right. Sir, TBT basically stands for Toolbox Talk. It's a short safety briefing that is conducted at the start of the activity. When we are on the site, when we got the permit, when we got all tools and equipment on the site, then a supervisor or permit receiver is briefing the workers about hazards and control measures in that particular activity. That short safety briefing is basically called Toolbox Talks.
Okay. So further, what is in the shutdown activity? We are using different catalyst in different process industry. So what is a catalyst and what is a catalyst replacement procedure, safety procedure for the catalyst removal or replacement?
Right. Sir, as I already told you in my introduction, I basically I have done BSc in chemistry. So basically, the catalyst is a substance, or you can say that it's a compound that increase the rate of reaction basically. So it's promote the reaction growth. So in the industry, for in order to increase the reaction rate, to get the reactant converted into the product within no time, we use catalysts. And in the shutdown, we have to replace those catalysts from the reactors basically. There are mighty reactors that are filled of catalyst. We have to remove the catalyst, and usually vacuum suction systems are used for removing of catalyst. And similarly, for the loading of catalyst, we use similar processes for the loading of the catalyst. So the major hazard in the catalyst loading and unloading activity is the chemical dust and exposure to the chemicals. That is really challenging to manage these activities. So most of the time it is recommended to wear N95 dust masks for all the workers in order to prevent them for inhalation of chemical or catalyst dust. And after that, the catalyst residue that is removed from the reactors is properly managed in the drums or containers, and after that it's properly sealed and sent for the disposal if it's required. And new catalyst is again came in proper packing form, and it is loaded securely, safely to the reactor's back.
Okay. So there is a basic procedure in the shutdown for the before any work start. So what is the basic definition of blinding and deblinding, and what are the hazards associated with that activity, and what are the control measures which we can apply to safely execute that activity?
Sir, basically, blinding and deblinding is also known as spadding and despadding. It's an isolation system in which any piping system is isolated from any equipment. First of all, at the start of the shutdown, plant is blinded from the battery limit, and it's very hazardous task as we just close the valve, and after that we have to blind the entry or battery limit of the plant. Here involves high risk of exposure to toxic gases, or it's also there is high risk of contaminations like any chemical, any hydrocarbons, any fluid can flow and or fall on the worker who is basically carrying out the blinding activity. So, sir, most of the time pinch point is also a major hazard while spacing the flanges in order to insert the blind, and other like work at height hazards are also involved. So as per the control measures, proper arrangements are made, risk assessment is conducted, permits is got, and after that, most of the time at the battery limit, worker use self-contained breathing apparatus so that he can save himself from toxic gases or any fluids, and proper personal protective equipments are worn by that particular person, and flange openers are used securely properly in order to insert the blind. And same
Okay.
thing is done in reverse case, that is called deblinding, when plant is ready to turn on.
Okay, very good, Mr. Zain. So you talk about the battery limit. What is the battery limit
The
and how?
battery limit is basically the point that separates the plant from other processing sections. Yeah, sir, every plant there are several units. So from where the feed comes into the plant, that is called battery limit.
Okay. So you know about the purging. What is purging?
Sir, basically purging is done a ventilation after blinding. A ventilation is installed with the whole plant. The purging is basically to getting rid of toxic gases, or we can tackle the oxygen deficiency in different equipments. As the shutdown processes proceeds, we have to make confined space entries. For that purpose, we do the purging. Purging basically the main you can say that the main purpose of purging is to get rid of toxic gases from the system and to get rid of hydrocarbon vapors from the system.
Okay, okay. Very good, Mr. Zain. So there are a lot of equipment in the shutdown process in any oil and gas plant, fertilizer plant. You know about the heat exchanger, and there are different bundle pullers in the heat exchanger, and how we replace or wash that bundles during the shutdown activities.
Right, sir. In oil and gas plant shutdowns, heat exchangers are the major job scope for carrying out cleaning, specifically cleaning activities. Basically, the heat exchanger is a mechanical equipment, is a equipment that is used to transfer the heat from one phase of liquid to other phase of liquid. Sometimes process fluid are being cold, and sometimes process fluid is being is carried out a hot phase by encountering it with steam or something. In simple, we can say that heat exchangers are used to exchange the heat from one phase of fluid to another phase of fluid, and usually heating is done in the heat exchangers, and we use steam for that purpose. As per the bundle puller concern, it's a mechanical device that is used to pull out the bundle inside tube bundle construction from the heat exchanger. As there are big units heat exchangers, and there is a lot of inside tubes are there packed in a bundle form. So when during the shutdown activity, head or cap of the heat exchanger is removed, after that that bundle is pulled slowly by using the bundle puller out from the heat exchanger, and then it's sent for the washing or hydrojetting in hydrojetting yards.
You discuss about the hydrojetting. What is the hydrojetting, and what is the process of hydrojetting, and what are the hazards associated with the
Basically,
hydrojetting?
sir, hydrojetting is a high pressure washing. Same like we go for the car wash at the car wash station. It's a high pressure water jet is projected on the material, equipment, or surface from which we have to remove the contaminants, we have to remove the deposits, we have to remove the scaling, fouling, or corrosion from the outer or inner surfaces of the equipment. Usually, for the heat exchanger tube hydrojetting is done. Then packed column, there are several trays inside the columns. In shutdown, those trays are bringed out from those columns, and after that, hydrojetting is carried out. And there are high hazards in hydrojetting activities as high pressure water injuries as a major hazard. After that, high pressure system, any component can explode, any component can fly in projectile motion. And after that, sir, exposure to toxic chemicals, toxic gases, and flying debris and flying equipments are the major hazards. So most of the time, hydrojetting yard is made away from the job activities on the site. Any equipment that can be moved from the job site to hydrojetting yard, usually it's preferred to carry out hydrojetting on the hydrojetting yard. And after that, proper a system is developed over there. A proper hydrojetting screen is added over there. A worker that is carrying out the hydrojetting is wearing a very thick personal protective equipment that is usually known as a turtle coverall with neck
Yes,
guard
very good.
and proper helmet and shoes guard. All these equipments are provided in order to safely complete this hydrojetting activity.
Okay, very good, Mr. Zain. So you are discuss about the hydrojetting for the internal cleaning. How we can clean or use for the outer surface cleaning or etc.
Sir, hydrojetting is usually used to remove the deposits and like scaling, fouling inside from the equipments, and usually outer surfaces of the equipments are cleaned with sand grit blasting, in which high pressure air sand is mixed with high pressure air, and after that it is projected on outer surfaces. And it will remove the paint, it will remove the corrosion, origin, and any deposits from the surface. And for this purpose, during the sand grid blasting activity, a large amount of dust is produced. And for that purpose, an external supply of air is provided to the operator who is operating that sand grid blasting machine for that activity. And similarly, high noise hazard, we have to use the ear protection. We have to barricade the area, proper risk assessment is conducted, proper permit is issued, and high pressure, all the fittings hoses are inspected and third party certified for
Okay,
this
very good,
activity.
Mr. Zain. So on the shutdown activity, there are a lot of maintenance activity continue, light, hot work activity. So what are the safety protocol for the hot activities? And can we say that can we left any gas cylinders for the welding activity? Can we say that we can put any unintended gas cylinder on any vehicles, truck, or move any unintentionally?
Okay. Right, sir. First of all, regarding hot work activities, any activity that has capability to generate spark, flames, or any type of energy that can ignite in the presence of flammable mixture is or taken as hot work activities. On oil and gas plants or oil and gas shutdowns, hot work activities are taken very critical as a large amount of hydrocarbons are available and there is a high risk of fire and explosion on the site. So proper risk assessments are conducted for this. Proper hot work permit is taken for this activity, and after that, a proper 100% box up is done with the fire blanket on the site where hot work activity is going to be carried out. Nearby, all the shivers will be covered with the fire blanket. Nearby, all the flanges of the pipeline will be covered by the fire blankets. And after that, a fire watcher will be appointed for that activity. He will stay on the site along with charged fire extinguisher and charged water hose. And he will stay on the activity site even after 30 minutes of completion of activity
Yeah.
in order to check that any smoldering or regenerating or that can lead to fire and explosion. So all these requirements are met. Trainings are conducted for this purpose, and also any generator or welding machine that is being used must be inspected and it must be grounded in order to avoid any spark, in order to avoid fire and explosion hazard on the site.
Okay, very good, Mr. Zain. So lifting activities also a very critical and important activity on the shutdown. So what is a lifting or rigging activity, and what are the hazards associated with that activity, and how we can manage or apply control measures to
Right.
safely
Sir,
execute that
as per
activity?
the lifting and rigging concern, basically a mechanical device that is known as crane is used for lifting and rigging. Basically, heavy objects are hoisted and moved from one place to another place in rigging and lifting activities. So, major hazard is definitely mechanical failure of the crane. Major hazard is suspended loads. Major hazard is striking by the suspended load with the nearby adjacent facilities. All these are major hazard in lifting and rigging activities. So for this purpose, properly third party inspected tools, equipments, and even crane must be third party inspected. All the riggers and crane operators must be certified and having proper certification training cards with them. Only approved rigger will give the signal to the crane operator, and after that a taglines must be attached with the suspended load in order to control the movement in the air when it's suspended. And also adverse weather is also one of the major reasons. So whenever the wind speed will go beyond 32 km per hour, we will stop all the crane lifting and rigging activities.
Okay, very good, Mr. Zen. So, name any safety devices which we can use during any cutting, during the acetylene welding cutting activity.
Basically, the flashback arrestor is used with the acetylene cylinder in order to prevent mixing with the air or oxygen that can lead to fire and explosion. Flashback arrestor, that device
Okay,
is
okay,
called.
very good, Mr. Zen. So, what are the safety hazards associated? So, confined space also is a very important activity which is mostly conducting during the shutdown activity to clean from internally any devices or any equipment. So, what is the confined space? What are the hazards and what are the control measures
Well,
in that
sir,
activity?
any enclosed space that is not designed for long-term human occupancy, there is limited access and egress, and in which a person can bodily enter is called confined space. In shutdowns, most of the time, workers are encountered with confined space activities, as most of the time they have to enter into the confined spaces where they have to maintain the equipments are internally clean, or inspections are being carried out internally from the equipments. So major hazards are oxygen deficiency or enrichment, presence of toxic gases, presence of toxic chemicals or residues, and also there are sometimes obstructions inside, fall from height hazards, and also low lighting hazards are there. Poor communication also a
Yes.
major hazard in confined space activities. As per the precautions, we have to properly ventilate all the equipments. If there is after that gas testing is carried out, still if there is LEL or toxic gases, then we have to reventilate, or sometimes we have to attach the steaming. All these purging and steaming and washing is carried out before getting a suitable environment inside the confined space. And all these are major things, and we have to make sure that all the inlets and outlets are properly isolated and blind before entering into the confined
Okay,
space.
very good. So, last one. So, there is a chemical handling at the plant side or waste management system. So, what is the chemical handling or any waste management system which we can must apply during any shutdowns or during the shutdown activity? So, managing toxic chemicals, managing material, it's very important. So, please describe.
Sir, as per the shutdown concern, most of the time the internal cleaning activities are carried out, and sometimes toxic chemicals in the form of sludge, in the form of deposits, are removed from the different equipments. So we have to handle it with proper care. We have to follow the waste management plan, in which we have to segregate the waste like metal waste, glass waste, plastic waste, reusable waste, disposable waste, and toxic waste, pyrophoric waste. We have to tag all the wastes appropriately. We have to manage the wastes in proper waste bins, and it must be removed from the site as soon as possible or after appropriate interval. Specifically, sir, pyrophoric wastes must be handled with care, as these are exposed to environment, these can catch the fire. So these must be put it in the drums, and after that water must be added so that it will not expose to the environment, so that to prevent any hazard or accident. So simple is that we have to follow the waste management plan in order to tackle the wastes and hazardous chemicals that are being generated or being emitted from different equipments.
Okay, Mr. Zain, you're really doing good job, mashallah. Okay, thank you so much.
वेलकम सर, वेलकम. सो दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम दिस वीडियो. ये हमारे पास एक शॉर्ट इंटरव्यू था जिसमें हमने ट्राई की है कि मैक्सिमम जो क्वेश्चंस हैं उनके रेलिवेंट मतलब कि आंसर दिए जाएं. सो ये रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है कि बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में आंसर दिया जाए. सिंपल इज दैट जितना कि हमने मतलब कि मैंने ट्राई किया है कि आपको डिटेल में आंसर दे सकूँ ताकि आपको आइडिया हो सके. इंटरव्यूअर कभी भी इतने क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछेगा, वो 4-5 मैक्सिमम 3-4-5 क्वेश्चन पूछेगा और उन्हीं से ही वो आपका आइडिया लगाएगा. सो मेक श्योर दैट आप अपनी अच्छी प्रिपरेशन करें. आपको इंटरव्यू की गेम समझने आना चाहिए. बहुत ज़्यादा एक्यूरेट आंसर की ज़रूरत नहीं है, बहुत ज़्यादा इंग्लिश की ज़रूरत नहीं है. आपको चीज़ की समझ आनी चाहिए, चीज़ को क्वेश्चन को टैकल करना आना चाहिए. बहुत ज़्यादा डिस्क्रिप्शन में अगर आप नहीं भी जाएंगे तो कोई इशू नहीं है. हमने जस्ट डेमोन्स्ट्रेट किया है ताकि आपको एक अप टू द मार्क चीज़ जो है वो बना के दें. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो. इफ यू फाउंड दिस कॉन्टेंट हेल्पफुल, डू कमेंट ऑन द वीडियो and also subscribe to the channel.